Hello, welcome to my video. Hello everyone. I know I haven't posted in a long while, and I'll get to that in another video. But for now, I'm back, baby, and I have an announcement. It goes against all the financial advice, but I'll say it. If you don't have dependents, you probably want to nix your emergency savings. Now, I know that that's a controversial opinion, but hear me out. I was completely for saving 6 months worth of your income until I watched this video by Meet Kevin titled Death of the Emergency Saving Fund. At first, I was like, Kevin, how could you say this? But then I realized something. I don't have a traditional emergency savings. And here's why. Think of America like Monopoly. While it may seem like a good idea to hoard money just in case you land on a bankrupting spot, if you forego buying a property just to do that, you're making a bad decision. Similarly, when you're pursuing financial independence, wealth, etc., and you're just starting out, you don't want to have a giant pool of liquid money that you don't have any specific plans for. It's wasted potential. So I recommend that you do what I do. 1. I treat my Roth IRA like an emergency savings account that I know I'll never use. It's there if I absolutely need it, but I'll do everything in my power before I touch that money. 2. Additionally, I have an account where I save up to invest in real estate. And like the Roth IRA, it's there if I absolutely need it. But I'll be honest with you, also like the Roth IRA, I'm probably not going to touch it unless I'm in dire straits. Unless, of course, I'm investing in real estate. I want to pause the video just to say that if you're a recent graduate like me, this is a very good strategy for you. And I'll explain why later in the video. And while we're paused, I also just wanted to explain about Roth IRA penalties because there seems to be a lot of confusion in this area. You do not have to pay penalties for what you contribute to the Roth IRA. Now, although you shouldn't withdraw your contribution early, you can if you absolutely need to. There's no taxes, there's no penalty. The only thing you can be penalized on are your earnings, so what your money has earned you. And even then, you can get that penalty waived for certain situations. So medical emergencies, excessive school loans, even if you're like a first-time home buyer and you need to withdraw up to $10,000, there's an entire list of reasons and you can go Google them if you want. So even though I don't have a traditional emergency savings account, I do have money that I could theoretically use in case of emergencies most of the year. I'm going to say 11 out of 12 months. And of course, I always have my Roth IRA, which is the world is literally burning emergency money. As such, if you decide to use the 2 methods that I've outlined, the only way life can catch you down and out is right after you've invested in something. But most of the year, you'd be covered, especially since you probably wouldn't invest everything you have in one thing at one time. Now, I just want to be totally clear. This is not the same as having a dedicated emergencies fund. I mean, when you put aside money to invest, you better invest that money. Like, there's a chance you'll wipe it out. For example, I just recently invested in a real estate property with my family. I'll explain more about that in a later video. But as such, my investment account was a little empty. However, for a while, it was pretty full and it could have doubled as an emergency savings, but that's not what it's there for. I will fully admit that this pseudo emergency savings strategy is a bit more risky, but it's still a great strategy. I should mention that I read a ton of finance books. And I didn't realize it, but a lot of personal finance enthusiasts and experts, the same people who write these books that recommend that you have 6 months of emergency savings, weren't actually practicing that themselves. I'll repeat that. Many of the people who recommend big emergency savings weren't actually following that advice when they were becoming wealthy. And it makes sense. Remember, it's only now that teenagers and young adults are getting into personal finance. So if you're under 30, most financial books were not written for you. Now, some of you might be asking, well, what if I do have dependents? Or what if I am over 30 and just have more cost in general? Well, according to this guy, who does in fact have children, you still probably want to nix your emergency savings. I know, insane, right? So what does Kevin have instead? Assets that he can liquidate. In order, this is how Kevin would access emergency money. 1. Stocks and index funds. 2. 401k and IRA, which he could withdraw from penalty-free with a hardship waiver. 3. Real estate, which he could use to take out a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. 4. Friends and family. And 5. Credit cards, which he would use to buy himself more time to liquidate more assets. He relies on all 5 methods for diversification. I put air quotes around rely because Kevin could lose 90% of everything and still be okay. I should also note that all 5 methods are designed so that you don't touch that money. Nothing less than a full-on crisis would warrant you pulling money from any of these sources. And that's a good thing because it discourages silly emergency spending. Psst, listen, if I wasn't investing in a Roth IRA, I probably would have visited another country when I was abroad. And the fact of the matter is that many emergency funds are often tapped into for non-emergencies unless you wrap them up, like so. Using alternative methods such as these creates more of an emergency savings fund in the long run because your money is making you money. I don't know if I have a catchphrase, but if I did, it would be make your money make you money. So in other words, all the money that you are going to stash away, safely invest it instead. As a result, you'll have more of it, which you can use for emergencies if need be. Hey, I see you looking funny. Listen, I'm not talking about anything crazy. We're not trying to beat the market. That said, even with the conservative return, you'll still be doing pretty good. We're talking a difference of thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars. If you've watched my 6-minute Roth IRA video, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And here's a picture of my own Roth IRA that proves the point.
I have 3 things to say, so listen up. 1, do not expect this type of return. The market is simply up. If you're 60 and over, it's a good time to cash out. 2, make sure to max out your Roth IRA before the April deadline. I'll be doing that as soon as I post this video. 3, as you can see, if I absolutely needed money now, I have almost 4.5K extra to work with. Thus is the power of a Roth IRA.
Even if everything went wrong, the market was always down, you had to pay a penalty, it was pre-tax money that you withdrew at the very end of the year and you have to pay taxes soon, you'll still probably come out on top. Watch Meet Kevin's video for the exact math. But if you want to understand it conceptually, think back to Monopoly. Imagine someone who's making a ton of money without lifting a finger. That person can have a terrible string of bad luck and it doesn't really dim their prospects because their money is making them a ton of money. So even with an extraordinary stream of bad luck, they're still doing pretty hot. Think about it. If you invest 6 months worth of emergency savings into a Roth IRA, a 401k, real estate, etc., your money will earn you money and it will create a cushion of thousands of dollars, which once again is there if Lady Luck ever decides to call war against you. Dave Ramsey refers to emergency savings as insurance, and I actually think that that is a really great analogy. Because emergency savings is insurance, it costs you money. You pay a steep opportunity cost. But insurance is very important if you have things that really need insuring, like that too expensive house you bought or your kids who get sick all the time because they're dumb and like to lick random things. However, if your living costs are low and you're a free little birdie, maybe you need 1K emergency savings, period. Sticking with this analogy, not everybody needs premium insurance. I'm all for building a safety net, but upon further reflection, you might find you're building multiple safety nets that are actually preventing you from achieving the financial independence that you're looking for. P.S. I will go on record and state that if I had dependents, I probably would have an emergency savings, even if the math wasn't in my favor, just for peace of mind, but as of now, absolutely not. P.P.S. I know that for a lot of people watching my video, you might have zilch. You'll still want to remember this information for when you do have money. And P.S. if you're older and you have zilch and also no emergency savings, you'll probably be fine, barring any emergencies. No? Okay, it's fine. Tough crowd. For you guys, just keep on watching my videos and I will cover all types of investing tips and tricks that apply to everyone. Anyway, I hope this video made sense. I really just wanted to introduce this concept that you don't need to have 6 months worth of emergency savings. I know that that's the financial advice given in every single financial book, but emergency savings is not one size fits all. With that said, I hope I covered everything, and if I didn't, message me in the comments. I'll answer. And as always, if you like this content, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching. I don't have it in there. I messed up. Gasp. All 5 methods are designed so that you do not touch your muffing. I gotta slow down. Nothing less than a full-on crisis would warrant you pulling money from either any of these sources. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.